Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Neustadt Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you.
Sharpen your pencil, grab some paper, get ready, it's almost time. Mark will show you how to get on the paper what's in your mind. A rocket ship, a pair of shoes, a shooting star, and some kangaroos on the Imagination Station. On the Imagination Station.
Hey, you ready to draw? Do you have your pencils out and your sketchbook ready to go? Oh, let me give you the international greeting today. Bonjour, guten tag, buenos dias, ni hao. You know why? Because you're international artists. You know with that pencil, you can communicate to the world all your thoughts, everything you have in your mind and your imagination. Art is the true international tool for communication. Now, my name is Mark Kistler, and you're aboard the Intergalactic Imagination Station. This is the cool spot for creative discovery. Let me tell you what we're going to do today. We're going to follow our theme, which is the letter E. We're going to be drawing some eccentric elephants. Really cool. These big elephants stomping across your sketch pad. You can shake them and animate them. We have a special guest, a good friend of mine from Southern California, Mona Brooks. She's the worldwide author of Drawing with Children. I bet you have a copy of her book around your house. Now, our art print history adventure today is with the Cincinnati Art Museum. It's a really neat print. You'll like that. It's about some elephants. And our two Renaissance words we're going to talk about today are contour and placement. Now, you know there's 12 words altogether, and if you want to, you can write those down as we learn them. Let's get back right into our drawing lesson. I'm going to stretch my thumb, warm up your hands, shake out your hands, fix your hair so look beautiful. And then we'll flow with our ideas and draw some elephants stomping across your paper. So I'm going to start right here on my piece of paper. I'm going to draw this elephant right here. Now, we'll name this elephant. This will be like Eloise elephant. All right, it'll be a girl elephant. Now, I think we're going to draw African elephants today. Now, we can draw an Indian elephant or an African elephant. They're both beautiful species that stomp around in different parts of the world. I think we're going to draw the African elephant stomping around in the African Serengeti. It's a beauty. I've just always been fascinated with elephants. Now, I'm going to block it rather lightly. We'll put a circle for the head. You can even draw with blocks right here. I'll just use circle. I'm going to overlap the back of the elephant back here. Now, if you were going to draw an Indian elephant, you would draw the ears just a little bit smaller on the Indian elephant. The ears come down just over the shoulder right here. Then what we're going to do is draw the near eye. Draw the eye right here in front, and then overlapping, draw the other eye back behind here. See, we blocked it in lightly, and now we take our pencil and we sketch it in. I'm going to very lightly sketch in this trunk, coming right down here. It's going to loop around. Ooh, a nice S curve. You can make this trunk as long as you want. Now, this is their hand. That's how they say hi to people. They greet by shaking trunks, and that's how the mother comforts their young. She'll take her trunk and pat the little young'un on the back. There, there, my little child. Everything is just fine. That leopard's not going to jump on you. If you see a leopard coming across here, Mom, there's a leopard coming over here. It's not very nice. The mom's going, that's fine. They see, look at the leopard sees the elephant's trunks and they stay away from that. That's their protection. That's how they protect themselves and fend off any kind of danger. Now, this is why people have been hunting elephants for years and years, is because of the ivory. Now we're realizing that since the elephants are having a problem, they're going extinct, we want to protect them so the ivory is not so popular anymore, because people know ivory comes from elephants, and that's scary if you have elephants having a problem. So let's curve the trunk along like this, and then we're going to use some contour lines. Now, our two words today are contour and placement. Now look at this. What we want to do is we want to use these curving lines to give that trunk that shape and volume. As a trunk's, you can even take one line and go all. Remember we were drawing the tubes. We drew the slithering snake, the cobra on that snake lesson, we use those contour lines. Well, we're going to apply that. Let's take what we learned and transfer it over. Let's use the contour lines coming around here on the trunk to give it shape and volume. Now, the top of this trunk, look at this. This will be like a foreshortened circle right there. Now, the African elephant has two little knobs on its trunk, and if this is an Indian elephant again, this will just be one knob. They have just little minor differences. All right, and we'll draw the trunk curving around here, make it a little darker, and then the contour lines on this curve toward you like this, all right? See, it's a little different. It changes around. Oh, look, and now it looks almost like a Dr. Seuss drawing, doesn't it? I love that book, Horton Hears a Who. Horton hears a hoot. Horton has a hoot here in the Who. Horton has fun in his picture. You ever read that book? You can get such great ideas from your drawings. You can get such great ideas from the books you read. All right, well, let's come back up here to the top. I'll draw the eyes. She's looking around here. This is Eloise. She's looking for her brother, Edgar. Edgar, I found some nuts down here. I found a whole pile of peanuts. Mmm, delicious. I'm going to share them with you. And Edgar comes over and she picks some peanuts up into her trunk and she spills the peanuts all over the floor. Now we're going to put the ear flap. Now, see how big that ear is? That ear is going to be flapping along like that. See, it's like their air conditioner. See that? That's how they keep themselves cool. And then we'll put a little hair on top over here. And then the hair, look at that nice hairstyle. Thank you. Thank you very much. Take your pencil and let's draw the back ear over here. Let's put this ear coming along here. Now, this ear is hidden over here. You know why I'm chuckling? Because when you draw, it just makes all your good humor and all your ideas come to life. Ooh, I'm going to put this ear disappearing back behind here. Look at this. This will be a fun little cartoon. Now, see, I'm a cartoonist, so I'm using cartooning to teach you a little bit about elephants. Now, if you want to draw more realistic elephants, you can look in magazines, you can check out books from your library, you can even get on the internet, type in the word elephant or African Serengeti or India, and you can look at these pictures and download some graphics. Do some research. It's wonderful. I can't tell you how many books I've checked out getting these lessons ready for you. Now, watch this. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to draw the chest of the elephant. Now, I'm going to just block in where the legs are going to go on our elephant here. I'm going to draw the back of the heel. Now, watch this. I'm going to come down. I'm going to block it in light. We can add more detail later, but I want to go ahead and sketch this in. Now, we go up to the left. Now, the back of the elephant for the African elephant droops just a little bit. See, it droops just a little bit, comes up onto the rump bone here, comes down around, and then you draw the back of the leg coming down here. See that? It dips. Now, the Indian elephant has a hump on its back, and the Indian elephant also has a bump on its forehead. That's why in circuses, the Indian elephants are used, because they can sit up high on their hump. I bet these guys are happy they don't have the hump on their head. They're not used in circuses. Yeah, leave us alone, man. We're having fun here. We don't want to stomp around in a circle wearing a funny hat. Let's put the elephant's leg. Now, we're going to block this in right here. And then, now this back leg is going to be back right behind here. Now, this elephant right here is looking for its brother, and he's looking off, and she's looking off into the distance. Now, I'm going to show you an animated piece that came from Animaction, and this was animated from some students from Menlo Avenue Elementary School, and they did a piece. They communicated internationally the idea of being accepted. Take a look at this. We can all get along, you see, using art to communicate that positive message. Now, take a look at this really inspiring master's art piece. This elephant painting was painted in India around the year 1775. Look at that. Look at all the elephants on the hill. Now, the people of India have tamed elephants for many centuries. They use these strong animals to do all sorts of work. Now, the wild elephants in this painting are playing in the jungle. The king probably hired an artist to create this picture because he liked elephants. The picture was made with similar colors. They were painted with tiny brushes on heavy sheets of paper, and it was polished by rubbing the paper with a shiny agate rock. It was painted to show the king's skill and mastery of his lands and the creatures who lived there. Now, this was loaned to us from the Cincinnati Museum of Art. What an inspiring piece. And I want to get inspired by seeing your drawings. Take your drawings and carefully fold them up, put them in an envelope with a self-addressed stamped envelope so I can respond to you, and mail them to Mark Kistler's Student Gallery of Fine Art, Post Office Box 41031, Santa Barbara, California, 93140. You got all that? And be sure to remember that self-addressed stamped envelope. Now also, the website is available if you want to explore with it. You can type on your internet computer, www.draw3d.com. Now, if you don't have a computer to go on and get the lessons off the internet, don't worry about it because you have your powerful imagination tool right here, your pencil power. So let's take that and let's just blast across the paper with some more elephants. Yee-haw! Time for an art attack. Put your pencil on your head. Stand back. I'm ready to draw. Hi! Shade, 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 we love to. Don't you love that when I break into a spontaneous song? See what happens when you start to draw? You just overflow with all your happiness. Shade, shade. Let me hear just the people out there. Let me hear just the geniuses who like to draw. Shade, 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 we love. Let me hear just the people who have nice hairstyles. Shade, shade. I can hear everybody singing, fixing your hair. You kids constantly amaze me, you artists. Now watch this. I'm going to draw a little more detail on the legs. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to draw maybe the little knee, and then now the foot kind of comes out just a little bit. So there's little bumps and turns. Like here's the elbow of his front leg. That's like his front arm almost. Comes down here, tapers back. And then if you want to, you can put in the toes. Now, the African elephant has three or four toes. Sometimes they have different number of toes. It's just these little differences between the African and the Indian elephant. And the Indian elephant always has 4 toes on the front and then 3 toes in the back. Now let's go back over here. Now watch this. Here comes that word that we're going to use is shading all the way down the side. I'm going to make it really dark underneath here, and it gets lighter and lighter as it comes across. You can blend it with your finger. You can blend it with your stump. Now this up here, if you look up here, I'm going to make this back here a little bit darker. I'm going to use a sharper pencil so you can see it. A little bit darker back here. You can use the side of your pencil all the way across. And then up here, now come in a little closer on the face. I'm going to work on this with some contour lines. Right about there. There you go. I'm going to take this and I'm going to draw the top of the ear flap. It comes down. And then you can even put like a little helix inside that ear so this flap in its ears. Now the elephants, I just had some fun making this cartoon shape right here. Now the real elephant's ear, the helix on the inside, but I'm just going to elaborate a little bit on that. You can have creative license on your paper. You can kind of have fun with your shapes. Put a little bit of shadow underneath the ear. Now we're also using that Renaissance word placement. I'm going to come down to the foot down here, and I'm going to use this area. Now look how we place that foot lower on the paper. That's placement. And then we can use some contour also. If you place things lower, they're closer to you. No matter what you're drawing. If you're drawing a portrait, if you're drawing a forest, if you're drawing a landscape, an architectural picture, you're going to use these Renaissance words. They're what you call transferable. You take these words and you transfer them whenever you're drawing. So let's come back to the foot, come over here and draw some more detail. Now I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit because I want to draw little Eloise's brother, Edgar. So I'm going to use my dark edge here, come out here. I'm going to draw the toes back here. We'll put that nice shading underneath the belly. Look at the belly right here. She's been eating a lot of alfalfa and a lot of grass and scrub brush that's out in the Serengeti. There's the back leg. Now here's a shading back here too. And you can come out just a little bit so we can see what happens when you add the shading. Here, look at that. As you come out, look at that view you have right underneath there. Nice and dark. Ah, beautiful. And then put the back little tail down around here, swooping around, little tassel. That's what they hold on to, like the little baby back here holding the tail. The mother would lead the elephant along. Then you put some more contour lines, curving these lines a lot. See, doesn't that add a lot of character to your drawing? Just put a few contour lines. Now, of course, you can make it more realistic. I just love using the cartooning to draw. Now, let's shade along down here. And then, well, we have to put a cast shadow on the ground, place this one lower, all the way across here. And then let's put up over in this area. Now here's Eloise. Now she was here and she had a whole trunk full of these nuts and she was shooting nuts over at her brother. They're having a little nut battle. Hey man, that's not nice. You hit me in the ear with your nuts. Stop that. Look at you having a cashew battle. The battle of the cashews. You know how elephants like cashews and they like peanuts to eat. Put that the back legs down here. Look at this is her brother Edgar running away. Mom! Eloise said I was fat. You never do that, do you? You never make fun of your brothers and sisters. Oh, look at Eloise. Come back and play with me, Edgar. I was just joking. You're not fat. You're an elephant. You're supposed to be pudgy. Your little tail back here. And then I'm going to put that back ear and draw the ear flapping over there. See, as the elephant's stomping away, we're going to draw the ear coming up here, and you can barely see him. Now, you know what I think I'll do? I'm going to turn my paper a little bit so I can get a better angle. I want to put, as the elephant's walking away, I'm going to draw these foreshortened footsteps. And you can see, take a look at this. They get size, larger and larger, as they come towards you. See this? This is where the elephant was standing before Eloise here started, you know, shooting all those nuts over at her brother, blowing the nuts out of the trunk. Hey, man, that's not very nice. Okay, draw the back of the body right here. You could draw, like, look at when she stomped away, little tiny nut shells everywhere, stomping, breaking them as she's going across here. Hey, man, Mom, Eloise is wasting our food. She's playing with the food. Draw the thickness of the footsteps. Look at the elephant stomping away right here. There she is. Put the thickness. I know I'm going really fast, huh? Now, if you can't keep up, remember you can just push pause on your video machine if you record it. So we used foreshortening. Go ahead and we'll shade the side back here. Take another shot of this up here. See, look at that. See? Put the darkness and then curve it around and shade all the way down. Put the back ear darker. That sets it in the background. Now there's placement again. That Renaissance word, boy, we're using that word a lot. See, when you make these objects lower on the paper, they look closer to you. You have that pencil power. Now I'm going to take a second. I want to show you some really exciting student drawings. Oh, wait, I almost did. Look at this. I'm going to put the horizon line back behind there. See that? Ah, now that really finishes. It gives you some kind of idea where the elephant's placed and where the sister's placed. Right, here's Eloise and Edgar stomping away, you know, and they're playing. They use their trunk to drink the water. They can hold like 2 gallons of water and they feed themselves the water. Now let me show you some student drawings. Now this is a student picture right here sent in from Aubrey. She's from Fort Collins, Colorado. She sent a letter, and can you get a look at this letter? Just take a look at the whole letter. See, she had sent the whole letter. There's her picture here. A nice long letter. Look at a little tiny elephant down at the bottom. Thanks so much for sending this in. Here's Jennifer Hugh, 9 years old. She is from an elementary school I visited in Washington, Renton, Washington. Thanks, Jennifer, for sending this picture. Look at that elephant out there in the grass. Nice shading. Look at there's Jennifer. I am the drawing genius. Take a close look at this. Look at her picture. I am so cool. I am brilliant. And then here's a piece that was developed, that was painted by a 5-year-old, Noelle. Now this is the cover of our guest book, Mona Brooks. Look at this picture right here. Look at the up here at the elephant. Now this is the old cover of the book, but 5 years old, using Mona Brooks' extraordinary techniques. Now she's going to teach us 5 basic elements that'll help you create any shape. Now Mona's going to use artwork from this you see in the world around you. Now I use a lot more imagination, and Mona's going to pick things that you can see in the world around you and create it right in color on the paper. It's amazing, fine art. Let's take a look at what she has to show us today. Kids, I'm the toucan. Draw me. You know who's going to draw the toucan today is Mona Brooks. You've been wondering why this has been sitting here on my desk the whole day. Well, we are lucky. We have Mona Brooks, the queen of art, here today. Mona, welcome to the Imagination Station.
Hi, Mark. Really nice to be here.
I bequeath the throne to you.
Thank you.
Now, what are you going to show us today?
Well, you know, when you draw with kids, you draw from your imagination. You get them to think about ideas and creative ways to get those ideas down on a piece of paper from their imagination. I'm kind of more into how do you look at an object like that toucan and understand the shape of it so that you can get it on a piece of paper and draw from the toucan. Now, you might draw from an object like that, or you might draw from a photograph of a toucan like this one.
So drawing from the world around you.
Right.
That's neat. You're showing different techniques. I draw from the fantasy and imagination, and you take the beauty from the world and translate it to your paper.
And they might use other drawings too. A lot of kids feel like it's not okay to look at somebody else's drawing. The idea is that you're not going to draw it exactly like this one, but you're going to use the information. How do I make these pieces look like a toucan? Well, that's where the problem usually lies.
These are beautiful pictures.
How do you understand shape? Well, I've made a little alphabet, and if a person, a kid, anybody, doesn't matter, learns these 5 elements of shape, that's all there is in the whole world.
The alphabet of shape right here.
You combine those together, they'll make any object you
A
want.
building, a bridge, a toucan,
Anything.
a tree. You can take any.
Right.
These are the shapes that translate it.
So you got anything that's roundish is a dot that if it's colored in. Anything that's roundish and empty is a circle.
So the dot, circle, oval, ellipse, kidney,
Doesn't
they're
matter.
all the
As
same.
long as it's colored in, you got a dot
Oh, that's
family.
a family. This is
See,
the
it's
dot
a whole
in the
family of
family.
dots, circles, and then you got
Family.
3 kinds of lines. You got straight lines, curved lines, and angle lines. And how that translates is when you look at this drawing of this toucan that you're looking at, you just take it piece by piece. If I start with the eye, I see a dot. I put that dot in there for the eye. Next,
Okay.
I see a circle. I've only got these 5 choices. Next, I look at the top of the head. I've got a curved line. So I'll recreate that here on a blank piece of paper.
How
and
long does this take you to draw right here?
Oh, this probably you're talking about a 10 or 15-minute drawing. So right now the kids might not be able to finish this drawing with me, but they can make some little sketches with a pencil and maybe later get some colorful markers and finish it up. So I look. I start with the eye. I get a dot. Well, I'm going to create a circle here and color it in with. If you leave a bit of the eye loose with a dot, it looks a little more realistic. Then I've got a circle. Then I've got the straight line at the end of the beak. If I want to make the beak open instead of closed, I'll make 2 middle lines. Start at the point and curve back. I look again. Start at the point, curve back.
So you're always looking at the.
I look at the curve over the top
Let's
of the head.
get a shot of Mona looking. See how Mona's, she's always looking up here at the
I
parrot.
look at the underneath side of the neck. It's a curve that goes in. Now I look at this wing. It's a curve that goes this way. Then I look at this feather. It's a curve that goes that way. Now I won't have time to finish the whole toucan right now, but I think I'll go ahead and jump over and show you some of these pretty leaves. A lot of times kids have trouble. How do I make a branch? You know, how do I connect? Here's
The-
a little
the branch that you have right here.
I got this
Right.
little one he's sitting on. But what if I want to make this great big beautiful branch? Watch, here's a trick. You curve off the paper somewhere where your branch goes. You double it, make a U-shaped curve. You
Such
double
confidence
it,
with the pen.
make a U-shaped curve. Double it. You can even overlap by going behind it. Hit something, jump over. Hit something, jump over, keep going. Double it. Okay? And when you go to make the leaves, you might change colors and make the midline of the leaf. What is it? It's a curve. It's a curve. You can put some little veins in it. Make one behind it. Midline, curve, curve. So what you're looking at is you create all of these different contour edges.
All from
See,
seeing it. You
just
look at it first,
seeing
teaching
it.
the kids to
Right,
look and
right.
to apply
You have
your
to look.
5 basic elements to the drawing.
A lot of art teachers will say you're not looking close enough.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, people don't know what to look for.
So you have to
so
show
I'm
them what to
teaching,
look
what are you showing? What are you looking for? Then you can go ahead and color in and take your markers. You can mix colors with markers, and colored pencil is
That's
nice.
so neat.
Go around the edges first
like
and
the
get it all
brightness.
colored in. And you can even add some colored pencil on top of markers. People don't know that, you know, and make a little shading with colored pencil on top.
I have
of
never done that
markers.
before.
Yeah, you can mix them both ways. You can put marker on top and colored pencil on top.
So now, as kids get more and more experienced with this, and using your book, Drawing with Children, the other, you have 2 books out, don't you?
Right, the book for older children is 10-year-old kids and up. They can use the book by themselves. The
Mm-hmm.
Drawing with Children book for 4-year-olds through 10-year-olds, the parents serve teacher or somebody, babysitter.
And this is
help
what
them with
happens
it.
when the kids use the
Right,
books.
these kids are just
Let's move it over so we can get a
these
nice
kids are
camera
just
shot
like
this way, right here.
like regular kids. This is a 12-year-old, 13-year-old girl. She was just a regular kid. She was not a gifted artist. But after using this technique, now here we have a 5-year-old. You know, people say, oh, it's impossible for a 5-year-old to do
5
that.
years old? That's incredible.
It's not impossible.
Alicia
I have
Nelson.
hundreds of
Look-
5-year-olds
look
that can
at
do
that
that.
color.
See?
That's gorgeous.
It's because they understand how to
Stick the
use those
picture.
elements of
I want to
shape.
show one more here before we run out of time.
Also,
Look at
another
this.
5-year-old.
Look at how young you start. Usually the children who are starting drawing with the Renaissance words are about 6, and you start them even younger
Yeah,
with
about 4
inspiring them with
years
the art.
old.
That
But
is
again, they
amazing.
have to have a little bit of structure to know what to look for
Right.
and a little bit of guidance.
So learn those 5 basic elements of shape, and you can take any idea, you can take anything you see in the world around you, right? And you can apply it to your paper and color and make it come alive. Mona Brooks, thank you for visiting Imagination Station. I'll see you right back here on the Imagination Station. Thumbs up, Mona. Yeah!
Now you can draw 24 hours a day with Mark Kistler's best-selling books, The Imagination Station, and his newest book, Drawing in 3D. Both are filled with over 250 pages of easy-to-follow wild and wacky drawing adventures. The books also come with the official Pencil Power Practice Sketchpad. Each of Mark Kistler's Simon & Schuster books is $24.95 plus $5.95 shipping. Operators can only take calls from parents with credit cards. Call 1-800-431-6829.
Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Newstapp Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you. Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Newstapp Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you.
Sharpen your pencil, grab some paper, get ready, it's almost time. Mark will show you how to get on the paper what's in your mind. A rocket ship, a pair of shoes, a shooting star, and some kangaroos on the Imagination Station. On the Imagination Station.
Hey, you dream achievers, you bundles of creative potential. I hope you're ready to draw today. Welcome aboard the USS Imagination Station, the intergalactic headquarters for three-dimensional thinking. Are you ready to draw? Do you have your pencils sharp and your sketch pad out in front of you, ready just to flow across that paper? Yeehaw! We're going to have some major art attacks today. This week, our theme is the letter A, and today's drawing lesson is called Aerodynamic Asteroids. We're going to draw an asteroid with craters and mountains on your sketch pad. We're going to make it look like it's really existing there in that space on your sketch pad. We have a special guest today, good friend of mine from Houston, Texas, an art teacher. His name is Joey Doyle. The Art History Adventures is with Andy Warhol print from the Cincinnati Art Museum. Really cool print, you'll like this. And our two Renaissance words we're going to talk about today, two of the 12 words. Remember those 12, they're all important. The two we're going to talk about today are overlapping and shading. So if you're ready, get your hand warmed up, hands up in the sky, and stretch that thumb. Sit up straight because you're a professional artist with pride and dignity. Pinky push-ups, a 1 and a 2 and a 1. Shake out your hands, fix your hair so you look professional. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You feel all ready to go? Well, let's take these wonderful, powerful ideas you have and let's flow across this sketch pad. Now I'm going to start my drawing right here. I'm going to block it in very lightly. You can use a pencil or a pen, any medium that you want to work with. Let's very lightly, let's kind of sketch in where this big giant asteroid is going to be flowing through space. So we block in a nice circle right here. Now you know what is so cool about drawing is you can take this blank space, this area, and turn it into any kind of domain or any kind of adventure you want. This is, for today, I'm going to make this the void of space, and then we'll put this asteroid hurling through space. And you know what, we should have like a little story that goes along with your drawing. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have, you guys are going to be these space observers, and you're looking through these telescopes, these powerful telescopes looking out into space, and you see this asteroid coming down toward Earth. Now I'm going to start with a foreshortened circle right there at the top, and then I'm going to maybe put some overlapping. Now I'm going to put these craters all around the asteroid, and then we'll have mountains and spiked big giant peaks coming out. It's going to be a really detailed drawing, so let's kind of block it in right here. We'll put maybe some other foreshortened circles. You know what I need to do. And you can do this too if you have a sketch pad. See on the side of my sketch pad how I have all these rings that'll keep all my drawings all nice and neat all together. Well, I'm going to rip this page out right here. I'm going to rip all the way down. Now watch this. This way you'll be able to move your drawing around. You don't always have to have your drawing locked down in one spot. You can move it around, adjust it so it's more comfortable for your hand to flow with these ideas. So let's come back to the drawing right here. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to rotate my paper and rotate my drawing so I'm always drawing these foreshortened craters as I go along right here. I'm going to put a whole bunch of foreshortened circles. You can put some really high just to see what happens. This will kind of look like that asteroid. You know in that wonderful animated opening when the birds and the fish go burping along, they go bubbling along in front of the asteroid that's floating there? This is kind of like what your drawing is going to look like. So let's rotate this around a little bit more right here. And let's put a foreshortened circle, always drawing straight up right here. Draw the foreshortened circle. I'm going to have a lot of foreshortened circles in this one. Think of this as a good practice exercise. This will keep your pencil flying across the paper. I'm going to just kind of block in. You're going, hey, that looks like a golf ball. What are we drawing a golf ball for? I thought we were going to draw an asteroid flying through space. Well, you will. Be patient. Look at this, my fine little genius artist. We have it all blocked in now. See, we have all, oh, you know what? This is kind of an empty area up here. I think I'll put one more asteroid or crater up high. Now we have it all blocked in. Now we go through and we'll draw a little bit darker. We'll draw the inside of the crater. We'll come around here and put the lip, the foreshortened lip. Now comes that Renaissance word. Up, Renaissance word, one of the 12 Renaissance words. Well, look at this. This is overlapping. I'm going to put this crater back here. I'm going to have it behind. See, it's overlapping behind here. Isn't that handy? That when you see that word and you learn how to control those words, you're going to be able to take any idea you have and you're going to be able to create that foreshortened three-dimensional image on your paper. I'm going to go along here and go ahead and add some details. You know what I want to do right back here? I'm going to add even more details. Detail. When you add the details, it'll make your drawing stand apart from the background. When you add the details, it'll make your drawing even stand apart from all those other drawings that are out there. You're going to make yours look like it's really cool, you professional artist. Now I'm going to put some more craters back here. Notice how I'm rotating my paper as I go along? You can do that to keep your drawing all proportional on your paper. You keep rotating as you move around, you make your drawing look really cool, adding all these neat details. That's right, you're the powerful creator on that paper. You're going to create this whole environment, this whole feeling that you're out in space. So we'll draw the foreshortened circle, and I'll put some more. I want to put some more mountains. See, we have a kind of a clump of these craters. I'm going to put a giant, well, watch this. This will be cool. Now, if you zoom in right here, look at this. I'm going to put an overlapping mountain coming right up and coming down. And I'm going to start with this one area. I'm going to start over here, and I'll start putting my shading. I'm going to get a harder or a softer lead, a B pencil. The higher number of B pencil you have, the darker your shading will go. Now, if you're using H pencils, the harder your H pencil is, the lighter the line, the harder the line will be, so the lighter it will be. This is a real soft pencil, so you can get a lot of shading. Notice how I'm using the side of my pencil? It goes a lot faster if you use the side. You can kind of just swoop it across your paper. You know, see what's happening? Look at this. The whole idea is to make that asteroid look like it's really existing there on that flat surface. You want to dominate that flat piece of paper with a three-dimensional image. That's our goal. And the way to do that is with these Renaissance words right here. Come all the way down. Now, a friend of mine, Doyle Smith from down in Los Angeles, California, he always wanted to see the outside of the imagination station because when he's drawing along with you kids, he always sees inside of this intergalactic headquarters. So I want to show you a really cool animated piece that Doyle Smith did. He took his impression of the outside when he was docking with the space shuttle. Take a look at this really neat animated piece. That was really exotic, seeing that foreshortened helicopter fly right into the imagination station. That's what you're trying to create, that illusion that people are going to fall right into your drawing. Now you want to get really inspired, take a look at this colorful print by Andy Warhol. A is for Andy, Andy Warhol. This print was sent to the Imagination Station by the Cincinnati Art Museum. Andy Warhol became famous for paintings of celebrities, including this picture of baseball star Pete Rose, made in 1985. Warhol's paintings, they often started with pictures of famous people. Now, many of his paintings show repeats of the same image, like 4 Pete Roses in this picture. Warhol loved making art out of famous people. Now, his most famous works included pictures of movie star Marilyn Monroe. He also made art images with Elizabeth Taylor, Elvis Presley, and the famous Campbell soup can, an image that everyone knows. Look at that color. Look at those 4 images. Pretty inspiring stuff for you, huh? I would love to see your art masterpieces. Be sure to send your drawings in to me. Be sure to include a self-addressed envelope. Here's my address, Mark Kistler, Student Gallery of Fine Art, Post Office Box 41031, Santa Barbara, California, 93140. And remember, that self-addressed stamped envelope, very important, because I like to be able to respond back to you when you send me mail. I love getting mail. Go ahead, send your drawings in to get buried in mail, more mail. Wait, I feel an art attack coming on. Pencils on your head. Repeat after me. Stand back. I'm ready to draw. Art attack. Hi. Draw, 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 draw. Put some action lines coming off our asteroid, because your asteroid is going to be just flowing across your sketch pad. Take your pencil, put some action lines. See, what's happening is the asteroid is coming toward Earth, and you're not quite sure if it's going to miss the Earth's gravitational pull or if it's going to smash right into the planet. So you guys alerted. You guys are the asteroid deviation crew, and you climbed aboard your little space shuttles, your pencil power rockets, and you went flying out to meet the asteroid to see if you had to take your lasers and to shoot the asteroid to deviate it from the course of the Earth. But before you did, you noticed you're out there, you're flying around, orbiting the asteroid with your pencil, and you noticed this. There's 2 little eyes looking out of the crater. You said, "Wait, hold your fire! There's life aboard the asteroid." And look at, you notice that there's all this hair flying out of here. There's this little alien. "We come in peace. We are not going to destroy your planet. We just wanted to borrow some peanut butter." They're having a peanut butter crisis on their planet, and they heard that Earth children had lots of peanut butter. I'm going to put lots of action lines right here. Yeehaw! Wait, I feel another art attack coming on. Pencils on your head. Now, not the point down. That would hurt. Put the back end on your head. Repeat after me. Stand back. Time to draw. Save yourself. Hi! Draw, 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 draw. Look at that. You can give your drawing this movement. Give it this animated look. Now, I know I'm smearing my drawing around. Sometimes you'll do that. You can clean that up later with your eraser, all right? Let's just very confidently sketch in our drawing. Notice I'm rotating the picture, so I'm keeping these craters. And back here, I want to put more maybe of a mountain, a little more details. Remember what I said, details, details. All the fun is in the details. The more details you add, the more your drawings are going to stand apart from all those amateurs, since you're the professional illustrator. Look, I'm putting the details in here. Now, I know I'm just going really fast because I only have a very limited time to draw with you today. But you kids, you lucky artist, you can get all motivated and all enthusiastic about that potential in this pencil. You can take this pencil, you can go back into time and draw dinosaurs if you want. You could take your pencil and you can travel into space like we are with the asteroid. Yeehaw! You could take your pencil and dive under the ocean if you want to create a whole illusion of under the sea. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh no, a shark! You can take your ideas and make anything happen on that paper. You're the director of this whole movie that's taking place right in front of your viewers. That's what I want you kids to remember. When you turn the TV off today to continue drawing, just remember you are in control of that paper. And anything can happen. Dinosaurs can climb out of the asteroid. The asteroid could turn into a giant ball of Swiss cheese flying toward the planet. You know what? Oh, wait. I'm going to put my brother up here. Wait, now the asteroid's flying this way. I'm flipping the drawing around, kind of hard for you to keep track. I'm going to put my brother in this one because I want his legs flowing back here. I like putting my brother in my drawing. That's kind of my signature. You know, you're going to develop your own style and your own signature too as you keep practicing. Oh, this will be cool. I'm going to make it hollow inside there. I'm going to darken in way back behind there. All right, see what's happening? I'm going to take my pencil. Now, this is a really nice technique. I'm going to take my sharper pencil and I'll blend it down more. I want to get more of the drawing done. Now, look at how fast I'm going. I looked up and I see I have very little time left. And I want you kids to get a good idea of what this asteroid will look like after you keep applying all those Renaissance words. Now, let's see what those two words that we want to talk about today. This is shading. It's blended from dark on the side. Let me move it over so you can see it better. This is shading right here, and it gets lighter and lighter. Now, to help you with shading, I'm going to use this tool called the stump. Now, this is just a rolled up piece of paper, and it's white. If you look at it, let me take another close shot right here. Just look at the stump right here. You see this? This stump, it comes white, but then as I shade, it gets dark. It's just compressed paper. You can use rolled up paper out of your trash can. You can you're a recycling artist. That fits our theme. You can recycle trash and turn it into art supplies. See what I'm doing? I'm taking the pencil and I'm going to blend it with that stump, a nice tool. And I'm going to take my pencil. I want to get a little darker inside here. You can even use your finger. You want to get really messy. You can take your finger and get it all dark and in there and get it all dirty, get your hands filthy. Yeah, it shows that you're an active artist. Hey, Mom, look, my hands are filthy. I'm an active artist. Shade, 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 shade. Oh, shade, shade, shade. Isn't my voice beautiful? I know you love that when I start to draw and sing. Oh, no! Mom, Mark's singing again on the Imagination Station. It's a drawing nightmare. Shade, shade, shade. We love. You guys get me so inspired, you girls and boys. Now, I want to show you a few drawings that you kids have mailed in to me. Now remember, it's really hard for me to pick just 2 or 3. I get, thousands every day. I love looking at them. Make sure you send yourself a dress stamped envelope. And the hardest part is just trying to pick a couple because they're all so extraordinary. But I just closed my eyes and kind of dipped in and picked this one right here. Now this is by Tim. Tim is 9 years old. I'm going to move it over on the top of the blank sheet if you can get a close look at that. Tim is 9 years old. Now, he forgot to send me what school he was from or what state he's from. So make sure you include that information, your name, age, and the state you're from. Can you get a little tighter on that drawing so we can take a look at it? Beautiful. Now, here's another one by Pat. You can stay tight. I'll put it right in here where it was. There's Pat. Now, Pat is 14 years old from California. Look at that detail. He created his own asteroid with trees on it, like a tree asteroid. I'm going to show you another one. This is from Vera. Now look what Vera did right here. She took her art and put it on the outside of her envelope. Isn't that great? Look at, she has this whole undersea creature. Now I don't know if you can see that with the dark colors. Can you see the flag and the scroll wrapping around? Isn't that wonderful? Look at envelope art. Anything could be art, your t-shirt, your shoes, even envelopes. Here's one more. This is from Eric from Ohio. Eric is 10 years old, and he sent this in. Look at that. Gives you some ideas of what you can do with these asteroids. Put planets, little creatures inside. Now, you take your asteroids, you can write a whole story about your drawing. Anything to make your drawing more special, more beautiful, and more exciting. More your own style. I'm going to put some more shading on here. Now, I have a really, really special guest here today. His name is Joey Doyle. He's an art teacher from Houston, Texas, been a friend of mine for 12 years, and I can't wait to show you some of these neat, exciting paper mache objects he has in store for us today. Let's take a look at how we're going to do this. Art attack mask!
Art attack!
These are so cool. These are paper mache masks, and my friend Joey's going to show us how to do these. Joey Doyle, welcome aboard the Imagination Station.
It's nice to be here, Mark.
These are really colorful, really neat. Oh, I like this one too. Art attack man!
How about this one?
Ah! Well, how can we do these? Any person can make these from materials they can find in their home, right?
Sure. These are masks that my high school students did in Houston, Texas, and they're just we created them with used newspaper and things that you find around the house.
Show us how to make one of these.
Sure. What
are
I've got
great.
over here is just some simple materials that I brought with me to show you how to do this. We're going to take one sheet of newspaper and unfold it completely. We're going to fold it in half like this, and fold it in half a second time, and then fold it in half a third time. And then I like to kind of run it across the table like this to crease it a little bit on both sides, because I want to wrap it around in a circle like this, kind of like you're going to be wearing it, you know.
Oh,
just like
look, a picture a mother could love.
that. Okay. I'm going to take a little piece of masking tape here to hold this together. And what we're doing is we're creating an armature or a skeleton structure, the underneath part.
Like a foundation for it,
Yeah,
right?
sure. We're going to take that band and stuff it with some newspaper.
Look
another
at this.
piece
It's
of newspaper.
so loose and limp, but then after it dries, it's going to be a really solid. I think I just ripped your ear.
Well, that's all right. We can repair
my
that.
ear, help!
See, the great thing about that, you're right, we can manipulate the outside shape or the contour of the mask any way we want to. Like, for example, maybe you want a nice tight pointed chin or maybe a thin face, or you want to be nice and round.
Hey.
could
Round
just,
pudgy face.
You bet, yeah, sure. We'll take one more piece of newspaper and ball it up. We're going to stick it inside here. And what we're doing is creating a hard surface. We're going to turn it over like this, and then I'm going to take strips of newspaper and cover this whole
Look,
thing.
it's already really solidified. You just
Sure.
stuffed it with some newspaper and taped it together. Wonderful. Now what's next?
Well, let me show you a trick that I learned a long time ago about tearing newspaper. See, if I turn the newspaper this way and try to tear it, it tears off into little pieces like that. What I want is nice, long, thin strips, almost like tape. See, just like that.
Kind of like going with the grain of the
You
wood,
try
right?
that, Mark.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Keeps it all together, and you just keep, how many strips do you need? About
Well, I just use about 2 sheets of newspaper, okay? I've got them all torn right here. I'm going to leave them right there like that. And I've got a bowl of a glue. There's a lot of different glues that you can use. You can use wallpaper paste that you get at the hardware store. This particular glue is a clear gel that you can buy at arts and crafts stores. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of newspaper just like
Does
this.
it say paper mache paste on it?
No, this particular glue is
Notice I
called
put it,
Pritt paste.
Pritt paste. Notice I put it on the napkin so it won't get all over my table.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Usually I have the whole
Art-
table covered with newspaper. You
Oh,
know?
hey, you get that? Make sure you cover your table with something, or your mom's in to go, oh, you're
That's
having an
right.
art attack, mess all over my furniture.
That's right. I'm going to take one strip of newspaper, and what we're going to do is bandage this thing just like a mummy. Okay?
A
I'm gonna
sarcophagus.
Take my fingers and squeegee off all the excess, and then I'm just going to drape it across like that and just leave it like that. I'm going to start building up a whole surface going straight across, 3 or 4 layers of this, okay? And also making sure that I go around the sides of the mask like that.
Oh, so it strengthens that armature, right? That structure?
Strengthens the whole armature. Here's one that I did already. This takes about maybe overnight to dry. And see, this one's all dry.
Nice and solid. Now, from here, see how flat it is right here? Now, how, with this basic shape, with your structure, how do you start getting all these details, like the eyes? Let me see if you can see that. You see the eyes and the eyebrow and the mouth and the horn. Now, how do you do that?
Well, you know, when you start a drawing, you start with a flat piece of paper.
Right.
When I start a mask, this is basically my paper.
So it's a
Okay?
flat surface.
It's a flat surface.
And you want to pull something out. You want to start creating
Right.
depth in 3 dimensions on it.
Sure. I can take a piece of newspaper like this and fold it in half and then make it into a loop, okay? And that can be an eye or a
You tape that
nose,
right there on the eye.
okay? Here's a loop that I already made. That could be a mouth.
And you
You
just,
see?
and you just tape it on, and then,
Sure.
then you have to paper mache over that again
Right.
one more
I'm just
time.
going to take a little piece of tape and tape it into place just like this, all right? And then I'll go back to my newspaper strips, dip them back into the paste, and place them over inside and out of the mouth so that the
Hey,
whole
go ahead,
thing
go
is
ahead and
covered.
do one of those.
Okay.
So we can see that. Get all
I'm going to make
slimy.
sure the whole, yeah, this is a lot of fun getting your hands all slimy and gooey. Sometimes
put
it's
it right on there.
There we go.
And we
We
just
just put it
we
right
teamwork.
inside
Hey, nice
and
and slimy.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't
you're
that
gonna
fun?
love this.
Isn't
Get
that
your
great?
hands all grimy and get them into the artwork. This
And
is
it
a full-on
washes
art.
out too. It's not something that will stain or.
Now,
or,
can the kids make this out of flour and water too? Can they do that?
You can use flour and water.
So you don't have to have the expensive
Sure.
professional paste.
You can also use glue and water.
Glue
Just
and
a
water.
bottle of glue and
little
mix
white
it with
glue.
water.
And, oh, that's
You
cool.
bet.
You just
bet.
dilute it. Now,
You
I
can
have a
also use
question.
objects found around the house like these things and the insides of paper tubes.
Oh, I see.
Make eyes and maybe even
Let's hold that
ears.
Oh, so this is recycling some trash,
You bet.
artwork, an art attack with recycled artwork.
That's
Take a
right.
cap of an aerosol can, put it right on here, and you can cover it over it right there. This is like from Hairspray or something.
You bet.
Great. Now, how can we repair on your beautiful mask? When I held it up, see, I kind of loosened up that. So you can go back in and repair it and repaint it? And
Sure, we can do exactly what we did here on the mouth, just going inside and out with a strip of
So
newspaper.
these are really durable.
They're real strong, sure. If you put enough coats on this, you can actually stand on it.
Wow, and
It's
you can,
nice
hang,
and
you can
dry.
hang these on walls and all that?
Sure.
Well, let's put some more detail. What else can we add to this to make it look like it's more of a wonderful three-dimensional...
Well, I took a piece of newspaper, folded it in a square and then in a triangle, and I can use that for a nose.
You hold it up so they
See?
can see it. So you take the triangle, almost like making one of those paper footballs, you know,
Right,
click it
exactly.
across, make that, put that on there. Now, what cultures use mask art?
Well, just about every culture on the face of the earth for one reason or another. We have tribes, tribal communities that use them for celebrations, like for after a good harvest or a good hunt. Of course, we use masks in this country for Halloween and,
Right.
and Mardi Gras, that type of thing. Other cultures use masks for different types of celebrations in the community.
These are
And
beautiful.
of course, the aliens use masks to let us know exactly what they look like.
So
this
they
is
come
kind
down-
of a photo ID of an alien.
Isn't that cool? All right. Now, if you were to tell these geniuses that are watching right now, all these just bundles of potential, one tip, one pearl of wisdom that would get them motivated and inspired to use their artwork and keep practicing, what would you give them? A little wisdom.
You know, Mark, when I was growing up, I had a lot of different ideas of things that I wanted to do, and a lot of them I didn't get around to doing. My pearl of wisdom would be always do it.
Do it.
Don't give up on it.
Dream it, draw it, do it. That fits
Exactly.
in good with our 3Ds. Keep drawing every day. Dream it, draw it, do it. Keep your pencil sharp and your sketch pad handy. Always ready to draw on 3D. We'll see you next time right here on the Imagination Station. Give me your thumbs up, Joey. Yeah!
Don't stop drawing now. Blast off with Mark Kistler's Drawing in 3D Art Kits. Mark's cool video art kits include a pocket-sized sketch pad, the 12 Renaissance word picture booklet, pencil, paper stump, and a specially selected 1-hour video. Choose from Drooling Dinosaurs or the Undersea Odyssey. Just $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping. Operators can only take calls from parents with credit cards. Call 1-800-431-6829.
Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Neustadt Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you. Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Neustadt Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you.
Sharpen your pencil, grab some paper, get ready, it's almost time. Mark will show you how to get on the paper what's in your mind. A rocket ship, a pair of shoes, a shooting star, and some kangaroos on the Imagination Station. On the Imagination Station.
Hey, how are you? You back again? I'm so glad you've decided to spend a half hour with me drawing today in 3D. Welcome back aboard the Imagination Station, the cool galactic spot for three-dimensional discovery. Yeehaw! It's time to draw, blasting right across your sketch pad. Do I have a drawing adventure for you today? We're going to finish up our theme of the letter F this week. We're going to draw the Forest of Freedom. We're going to draw these big, giant sequoia trees moving away all the way up. It's going to be moving away like this one-point perspective drawing. It's going to be an awesome sketch for you. Our special guest today is Kevin Byer, a Boeing aircraft designer. I've always wanted to meet a real-live airplane designer, and he's here today. Really cool. Our art history adventure is with Harry Rousseau. It's loaned to us by the Cincinnati Art Museum. Wait till you see this painting. It's really, really, really motivating. Our three words we're going to talk about is size, density, and bonus. Now, there's the 12 Renaissance words, and those are the three that we're going to talk about to create this illusion of depth on the paper. Now, that's our whole goal. We want to have, you know what I think we'll do is we'll just kind of for a second, we'll pretend we're laying on our backs on the forest floor and the ferns and the reeds and all the grass. We're spending a day at the national park, and we're laying down, we're looking up at the beautiful trees as they move away from us. And we're going to take that experience and express it on the sketch pad. So you ready? Get your hand up, stretch that thumb, shake it out to your hand. Fix your hair so like the professional artist that you are. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I bet your parents love it when you do that. Every time you sit at the kitchen table and you're about to draw and you start fixing your hair. What are you doing, honey? It's okay, Mom. I'm ready to have an art attack. Pencils up on your head. Hey, draw. Let's flow across that paper. Put a dot in the middle of your sketch pad. Look, we're going to jump right in here. This is a little more advanced drawing, so I'm going to use my alignment ruler. This is a clear tool. It's a clear ruler. You don't have to have one of these. You can have just a piece of paper or a folder. Now, I'm going to have all the tree trunks, all these big, giant, huge, massive trunks, redwoods or sequoias or towering firs coming off here into the distance. So put a dot right here in the middle, and then let's use some alignment. Now, watch this. I'm going to have the trees moving away from you into the distance. So here's one big massive trunk. You see the alignment? It's going to get larger as it moves, or larger here as it comes closer to where you're lying down, and smaller as it moves away into the sky. You're looking up at the majestic view. It's going to be this incredible view. So let's go ahead and block in where the trees are going to go. This is going to be one tree. This will be another tree. Look how short my pencil is. I've gone through so many pencils, and thanks a lot for Ellis Art Supply here sending up all these really, really cool art supplies so I can be drawing. I bet I've gone through about 300 pencils in all of our drawing lessons. How many pencils have you gone through? A lot, huh? That's what I like to see. I like to see you having to sharpen these every day and just going through all of your drawings and practicing. See, the more pencils you go through, it means the more practice you're putting into your drawings. Now let's do a nice one-point perspective drawing. This means alignment. See, perspective is rooted in that word. Look, I'm cleaning my paper here. Perspective is rooted in that word spec, right? It's that Latin root word meaning to see, the word spec. Perspective, like spectacle, that's like the glasses, or what you do. You create a spectacle of yourself when you're drawing. I'm ready to draw. Stand back. I'm having an art attack. Well, that word spec is going to mean that you want your viewers, the people who are looking at your drawing, to fall into your picture. That's what you want to do. You want to pull your viewers in. So let's start here with this tree right in front of you here. I'm going to move it over so you can see it better. Now right here, I'm going to move my way up, and I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to put like a tree branch coming off from here. I'm going to draw a tree branch here. I'm going to draw a little bit darker now, and I'm using overlapping. So this is the trunk, and then this will be one of the branches coming off, and you can even go off into the stems that come out of here, and then the leaves will be attached to that. So put some overlapping here. Look at big knots. Now as the tree moves away from you, you can even put some contour lines around here. Now here's size. The tree's larger because it's close to you, and as it moves up away from you toward the sky, it gets smaller and smaller. It goes up here, and maybe we'll put another branch coming off of here. All right? We're going to create overlapping, and we're going to use the other word, bonus. As many little extra ideas as you can add to your drawing to make it more detailed. That's bonus. Any extra neat ideas to add to enhance your drawing. You don't want to draw the same thing that I'm drawing. You want to do the exercise with me and then redraw it and create your own illusion. Now we're going to put a big puff of leaves up here. I'm going to use the texture like www, www. You can add all this detail to make your drawings your own unique style. I'm going to put maybe like a little poof of leaves here. Then I'll put another poof right down here. Look at this. It goes off into the distance. A little smaller. Now this could be density too, that other word we're talking about. Because see how far and how high the tree goes? It's really high. It's like 300 feet high. So you can barely see the big poofy leaves back in the distance. Then take your pencil, and if you darken in underneath each of these clumps of leaves, it creates that illusion that it's going far away from you, all right? We'll just focus on one of these tree branches right now, darken underneath here, and then take the side of your pencil, and you can blend it down, shade it as it comes across, and blend it all the way across. You can use your handy stump, which is that rolled up paper again, to give your whole tree that tone and that color. All right, all the way across here. Give the whole tree just a little bit of tone, and it will darken a little bit more so it looks like it's really moving away from you in the picture. Now I'm going to rotate my paper, and I'm going to draw a little bit larger. See this? You can rotate. It's okay to move your paper. I'm going to put a big giant knot hole right here. This is where maybe some squirrels live. You know what we could do? We can create a story. We can have the squirrels that live inside here, and they're poking out. You can see their little eyes in here. They're looking out. Oh, look it looks like a little tiny alien. It's a forest alien that lives inside there. You can be like the flight control for all the birds flying around in the sky. I'm going to draw another branch. I just love drawing trees because you can put overlapping. Now I know I'm going really fast because I want to have a lot of detail. Now don't you worry. You can just take a few of the sketching ideas and you can add more detail as we go through the drawing, okay? You can add your own ideas at your own pace. All right, look, see, I'm making these leaves look like they're far away. Then I'm going to sketch up as we go along right here. Now, I love the way you add all those Renaissance words to your artwork to create it, make it look like it's three-dimensional. Now, I want to show you a special animated piece that was mailed into me from Natalia Senko from Savannah, Georgia. She used all these words to create a really cool three-dimensional flower dancing around inside the... I love that animated piece. Now I want you to be inspired by this really cool painting from the Art Museum. Take a look at this. F is for forest, and one of the greatest painters of forest is Henry Rousseau. Rousseau never studied to be an artist. He was a clerk in a customs office and did not start painting until later on in his life. Rousseau's paintings were often called very simplistic. People made fun of them, especially the art critics in Paris during the years around 1900. No matter what the art critics said, though, Rousseau knew his work was good. And Rousseau was right. Nowadays, his paintings are shown all over the world in the greatest museums, including this print of a tropical forest with monkeys. Now, this print was sent to us by the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. If you'd like to send your drawings in to me, I'd love to receive them. I get so inspired by seeing your artwork. Mail it in. Here's my address. It's Mark Kistler's Student Gallery of Fine Art, Post Office Box 41031, Santa Barbara, California 93140. You can also get a hold of me through the website at worldwideweb.draw3d.com. You can download some drawing lessons if you want and have some fun on the cyberspace. But again, you don't need your computer to have fun drawing, because you have your sketch pad, you have your imagination, you have your powerful dreams, and you have pencil power. Well, I did have pencil power until I wore out my pencil again. There goes the 17th pencil today. Bye-bye. Let's get another one. Here we go, going along. Another art attack. Now I'm going to work on the trees. I'm going to go along here, and I'm going to add a little bit of tone. I'm going to rotate it around as we go. All right, I'm going to put some tone to the whole tree, and then I'm going to use my stump, and I want to create the illusion that these trees are standing apart. Now, if you give the whole tree a tone, it really makes it stand apart from the background. You can give all the tree branches. You could even shade the left side of the tree clumps. See that? Now let's rotate the tree around. Let's create this illusion. Look at this. Now I'm going to skip this tree right here. You can add more detail later. I'm going to draw right here. I'm going to come along, and I want to have a big giant branch coming up here. I want to put that overlapping line and have it hooking around here. Now let's talk more about that story. I like the idea of what you're going to be doing here. You have this squirrel there who's the flight control for all the birds flying around, and you can see way up in the distance, see this little bird flying, coming in for a landing. Blue Jay 1 to Blue Jay 2. We've got a flying squirrel on your left side. Dive, dive. Blue Jay 1, come in, come in. Robin, reading here, Robin, coming down. We're going to assist Blue Jay 2 in the squirrel dive. He's going along here. You have all these birds lined up. Hey, that's not a flying squirrel. That's a pterodactyl flying. You guys are going along. You can go crazy with your stories. Wait, up here, way up in the sky, way up there. You see this, look, it's a 777 flying up in the sky. It's going by, look at little contrails of the jet. So here's the bird flying up there. Oh, that's a negative. That's not a pterodactyl. That's a 777 flying through our flight path. He's warning them away. Hey, this is Blue Jay flight territory to 777. Oh, look, you're looking and you see all the little people inside there. They're having their refreshments. More peanuts, please. I'd like some more peanuts. They're watching their movies. Isn't that amazing? These big, giant metal tubes flying through the sky, and you can sit aboard comfortably watching a movie and drinking some tea as you soar across. God, that just amazes me. Here you are, laying on the comfort of the soft grass, and you're looking up at the view, and you're watching all this action. Blue jays flying back and forth, coming in for a landing. Robins diving through the forest. What stories you could write about your drawing. I'm going to rotate this again. We want to create this illusion. We want to create the illusion that this is a giant forest. Maybe that's like this big knothole right here. It's moving up away from you. I'm going to put the contour lines moving away. And I'm going to put, maybe I'll put another branch up here. I want to put a big giant branch, a big puppy right here. Yeah, it's moving up. And then I'm going to put maybe 3 separate branches. Look, I'm using overlapping, like the fingers of growth. The hand, look at this, it's like a hand on the tree. The hand of creativity, ready to sweep across the paper. Let's put some more leaves. Now I'm going to go really fast. You kids, don't get frustrated. I want you just to get the general idea. You put maybe some clumps of leaves up here. I'm going to maybe make this clump way over here. And you can add shading any way you want. You know what you can do? Just add the detail. Now watch this. See that? See how you can't really tell it's a tree, but watch this. You start adding detail. Look at another pencil. Can you believe how many pencils we go through? Well, I have to sharpen another one here. Let's put some more pencil texture. See that? You can use little circles to create the illusion that these are leaves. All the way down here, all the way across here. You can use the scribble technique to shade. Look at this. You can scribble it, or you can take the side. Now the scribbling and the dots, that's called stippling. You can use some stippling. Some people call it stippling. You can use your stippling, or you can just use the side of your pencil. The side of your pencil is much faster, but the more detailed shading, like the cross hatching, which is like this, if you took your pencil, look, I'm using the contour lines. Ooh, I like the sharp blue pencil. This is nice. Ooh, I haven't used these very much. This is nice. Let's put this thickness all the way across. Put the detail. Look at, now watch this. I'm gonna have the leaves. See this? The leaves wrap around so you can still see the sky and the birds way up here. Let's put this shading all the way down. And then I'm going to kind of give it a whole tone. And then I want to go in here and I want to add the blended shading. Look at the birds flying around here. Shade, 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 we love to shade, shade. Don't you love that when I break in a spontaneous song? I bet when you kids are drawing all the time, you're singing and drawing and just having a blast across your sketch pad. Yeehaw, it's time to draw. I like that little 777 up there flying around. You know, that really fits in with our special guest, too. He's going to show us how he designs these puppies flying across the sky. Yeah, he's going to have some really cool things to show us. Now, I'm going to blend this here, and you can put texture. Now, we get that illusion. You see that? We have the illusion. We have the illusion. Oh, look at this. I have to fix my desk. I'm drawing so fast, my desk is falling apart. Help me! Oh, my goodness. Art attack. We're going to have all the darkness. Now, we're going to add some more texture. Now, look, we have that illusion. You're following it. We use those words, the 3 Renaissance words today. Size. Things are larger when they're closer to you, and they get smaller far away, right? They're large, and they get really small. All right, we use density. The further things away, the less detailed they are. And bonus. The more extra ideas you add to your drawing, the more unique and the more creative and the more special they look. So those 3 words, size, density, and bonus, are very helpful. I bet you have all those words listed down the side of your paper and you're just checking them off as you go. Well, watch as I add some more texture here to the picture. You can put maybe some wood grain. You can take your pencil to make this really stand apart. Take your pencil and add some texture to your trees. Take your pencil here and you can just add some wood grain going up and down, making it look like a really tall sequoia. Or maybe a redwood, because redwoods has really pronounced grains. Following the texture of the tree. Let's move it around, rotate it. You can add even more texture here, all the way across. Look at that, all the way. Now I have, oh my goodness, I'm already out of time. I want to show you just a couple student drawings, and then we're going to meet our special guest today. Now this first drawing, this is a forest that was designed by Sergio, 15 years old, from Cookeville, Texas. Beautiful drawing. Isn't that nice using color? Here's Jason, 14 years old, from Mount Pleasant, Texas. Another forest. Isn't that great? Look how peaceful and serene that is. You can use your drawing to create that illusion of a nice, serene, beautiful picture. Create that depth. Let's take a look at Kevin Byer and how he uses his 3-dimensional skill to design aircraft. Very cool guest. Wait till you meet him. Awesome stuff. Planes flying through the sky. You know, when I was a genius about your age, I always had this wonderful dream of designing these big planes and building them and watching them, you know, fly in the sky. Well, today we're going to meet someone whose dream has come true in designing aircraft. Kevin Byer from Seattle, Washington, Boeing Company. How are you doing?
Good, Mark.
Welcome aboard the Imagination Station.
Thank you very much.
Now, you're going to show us and talk about how you design these beautiful flying vehicles in the sky. We're going to talk about the structure of this.
Right, this is the 777 model, and what we're going to talk about is the actual flap itself. And then what we're going to do is talk about a mechanism that drives the flap system to give you guys some ideas on how we design details of the part.
So we're going to be talking about that flap right there, and you're going to actually show us some of the drawings and some of the details it takes in moving it.
And then also the techniques of how we create that.
Do you just sit on your desk and play with this all day?
Yeah, well.
So cool. Yeah! Air attack. Now let's go ahead and talk about the wing structure here.
Okay, what we've got is, again, we start out with techniques that you use in creating a drawing.
Look at that, a plug for the Renaissance words, even an engineer like our guest here.
And what I'm going to try to do is take you through one of these components, but right now what you're looking at is a mechanism, and this is the most fun for me, is to create something that moves. And I get to help design on a team that allows us to move this flap through space. And
that is beautiful. How many people are on your team?
On my particular team, about 40 people are actually on my particular team.
Just on the flaps?
On the flaps
That
themselves.
means that how many for the whole plane?
Well, you're talking about 1,000 designers and up to 5,000 for the whole team to create
1,000 designers drawing. That's awesome. And move that one more time. Look at that. So someone had to just, you were figuring all the details and all the bolts and all the what do you call that when it comes together? You were telling me?
The interfaces.
All the interfaces that make this wing function and fly.
Right.
This is really cool. Now you actually have a video clip
Right.
of you designing this on a computer, and then what is it, a computer?
It's a three-dimensional computer system that we use, and what I'm going to show you is how we would actually design one of the actual parts, so that everyone can get a look at how we build on a computer system, and we use techniques that you use on the computer also.
But you draw it first, and then you do the computer, right?
That's correct.
So you draw it
Well,
on
we kind
paper,
of
pencil?
sketch it out, and then we go into the computers and then lay out our rest of our designs in 3 dimensions.
Well, let's take a look at it. Let's go to that right now.
There I am sitting at the computer, and then this is a 3D part that's rotating. It's a shaded part, and what you'll see is this part, I'll start to build the part in the next segments here, and you'll see us coming into the construction of the part now. And here's where
you're
we
moving it on the computer.
Yeah, we can actually zoom and pan and do a lot of. Here's where we start with a simple shape like what you start with, and then we can extrude or extend that shape like what you do in your perspectives, and then that's the extruded shape there. And then we create other simple shapes and we extrude those.
That means making it three-dimensional. You're pulling
Right,
it out. You push and pull.
Right, exactly. And then we can subtract those shapes from the other shape
Boom,
to
there
give
it
us
is.
the part. And then from there, what we can do is we can create a drawing, which I'll kind of show you in the next segment here.
There's
from
our famous designer right there.
Right, from the actual 3D part. And we lay that part out on a drawing, and we can create isometrics like what you do with your drawings. And then from there, we assemble the parts into what you're seeing here, and we actually use a visualization tool to navigate through the airplane. And this helps us to see all of our interfaces and all of the people that we deal with and coordinate with. And you can see all the component parts.
Yeah, ride them right through the aircraft.
Yeah, and this is just an excellent tool that we use to create and to help us with all of our interfaces. And it also allows us to determine whether there's any interferences.
Making it all work in 3D.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool. Now, you're going to show us an actual piece that we saw on the video clip,
Yeah,
right?
this here is a drawing that is on the video clip, just to show people that this is how we create 3 dimensions so that you can see the same perspective views that you create. Here's an isometric that you'd create using your same techniques, but we use it in the computer to develop that part.
So you draw this on a paper, a napkin, a 8.5 by 11
Right.
piece of paper, then you coordinate it on the computer, you build it.
Right, and then the computer helps us to develop the drawings.
So this is the 2-dimensional flat one, and this is the computer 3D.
Right, and now to kind of show you the next drawing, which is a lot more complex, to kind of show everyone that we really do develop a lot of complex structure, and that's why there's so many people that are needed to develop this. But this is a 3D flap mechanism actually on the 777 itself. And what we have here is the different components of that, and we actually have, some actual airplane hardware.
You actually help design pieces that look like something like this.
This piece right here is actually a piece that fits into this joint right here. So you can actually see the component parts that we're actually building.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so
Look at the detail in that. Yeah. Now, you don't add shading to your drawings, right?
we can, like you saw in the video, a shaded image if we need to create the shading, but it's actually done in a computer. But no, not on our drawings. We don't do shading.
Because it would confuse your engineers.
Yeah.
Your interfacing team members of your 5,000 team. What are the 2 most exciting parts for you in this whole process of designing aircraft?
Well, the love is, of course, creating the design for me and seeing something work and making it work. And the other then is to actually see the hardware being built like this
Just
here.
to see your drawing come into something that's absolutely 3D. Like we have a part of an actual wing right here.
Yeah, it's a flap, actually.
That's the flap.
Right. This is a small flap of our actually 737, and it's
you
kind
see
of
the shape.
Right.
And this is a part from 737.
Right,
I'm going
and
to hold
you-
it on this side so the
Sure.
kids can get a good look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. See the rivets? Bzzz!
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Everything's fastened together.
It must be, what a thrill to see the whole, out of all 5,000 team members working together, to see that puppy just taking off and soaring to the sky.
It's incredible. That was the most exciting time in my career, was watching the 777 take off.
After all your years of being a designer,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
it, seeing that
Seeing that
777
plane
fly
take
off
into
into
the
the
air, yeah.
clouds.
It's just the
Wow.
coolest feeling to spend all that time, 3 years of my life on that airplane and then watching it take off into the sky.
3 years designing and
Yeah.
just working on it, and all of a sudden it's taking off into the sky. Okay, in about 15 seconds, what can you tell the kids to motivate them to draw?
Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has power, magic, and genius in it.
Excellent. Boldness has power, magic, and genius in it. That's awesome. Kevin Byer, thanks a lot for coming aboard Imagination Station.
Been very fun.
777s fly into the sky. We'll see you next time right here on the Imagination Station. Dream it, draw it, do it. Yeah!
Don't stop drawing now. Blast off with Mark Kistler's Drawing in 3D Art Kits. Mark's cool video art kits include a pocket-sized sketch pad, the 12 Renaissance word picture booklet, pencil, paper stump, and a specially selected 1-hour video. Choose from Drooling Dinosaurs or the Undersea Odyssey. Just $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping. Operators can only take calls from parents with credit cards. Call 1-800-431-6829.
Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Newstapp Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you. Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Newstapp Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you.
Sharpen your pencil, grab some paper, get ready, it's almost time. Mark will show you how to get on the paper what's in your mind. A rocket ship, a pair of shoes, a shooting star, and some kangaroos on the Imagination Station. On the Imagination Station.
Hey, welcome aboard the Imagination Station. I am so glad you decided to spend part of your day with me right here, the cool, safe spot for creative exploration of that sketch pad. I am Mark Kistler, and I'm ready to draw. Are you ready to draw? I know you love to draw and you have your sketchbook out. I have a great lesson in store for you today. We're going to start a new theme letter today. This theme is the letter D. The title of the lesson is Drawing Determines Destiny. Now, our special guest today is Joey Doyle. He's an art teacher from Houston, Texas. And our art history exploration is a painting by Sean Dubuffet. Try to say that. That's a great word to pronounce. It's from the Albright Knox Gallery in Buffalo, New York. Now, the two Renaissance words we're talking about are daily and shading. Now we have all 12 words up there: foreshortening, overlapping, placement, attitude, contour, horizon, shading, shadow, density, bonus, daily, and size. Now if you learn all those 12 words, you're going to have that almighty power in your pencil to blast across that paper with all your ideas. So let's warm up our hands. Hands up. Stretch that thumb. Shake out your hands. Finger aerobics part 2. Get your hands all warmed up, ready to go. Just like an athlete stretches their legs and how a musician warms up their fingers, well, you're going to stretch out your drawing tool right here, your hand, the hand of creativity. Fix your hair so look professional. And if you're ready, let's take all of our ideas and let's just flow across that paper. Now, I think with our first drawing right here, we're going to do a nice warm-up. We're going to draw a pencil in 3D. Now, we're going to draw this pencil. Now, before we've drawn pencils blasting off into space, going off this way, we've drawn pencil rockets. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to have a pencil that's a giant one that's tilted up like this. Maybe we'll have someone's hand actually drawing like an M.C. Escher picture, or we could put maybe a little character down here holding it up. So let's do a guideline. Now, watch this. I'm going to angle this uphill. Now, we're really going to talk about how to place and position this pencil and make it appear to be round and three-dimensional. Now, those two words that we're talking about, daily and shading, are going to help us do that. We're going to be practicing every day. That's our daily. That's what that word is. Now, great artists, master painters, apprentice artists, all throughout history, they have known that truth, that if you practice every day, well, you know that old cliche, right? Practice, 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 right? Practice makes perfect. Well, practice, really, you know what practice does? It builds confidence. And the more confident you are, the more fun you're going to have on your paper. I practice every day, too. I have to draw every day just like you do to make sure I'm confident my pencil flies across. Now, see, I'm going to draw this pencil. What I did here is I put a foreshortened circle. See that? And then I just drew the kind of a tube shape. And then we'll take the tube and we'll put the tip of this pencil. Now, we're going to make it kind of fat, make it more interesting for you to look at. Let's angle this down right here. And there is the tip of your pencil. Now, we want this to be lifting off the ground. So I'm going to put a shadow right across here. Take your pencil. Now, I'm going to turn my paper. It's okay for you if you want to move your sketch pad around. I know my sketch pad's really huge, and so it's kind of hard to move it around. But your sketch pad's probably a little easier to move. See, what I want to do, now watch this. We can watch the whole technique. We got pencils falling all over the floor. Now, I don't want to come straight across. This is a horizontal line. I want to angle it up just a bit, following that guideline right here. You can move your paper around right here. I'm going to go uphill. Now I'll turn my paper to put the shadow. I'm going to switch it around. Look at, you can turn your paper so sometimes when you turn your paper, it's easier for a hand to draw certain lines. I want to make the shadow look really, really nice, like it's really lying across the paper here. Put the shadow all the way across the base, coming down here. And then we can take our paper stump and we can smooth that out later on. You know, why not? We're talking about it. Go and take that rolled up paper and you can just smooth the texture so it looks really nice. See how that really just lifts it up? Now that word shadow, that's one of the Renaissance words. It's not the one we're talking about today, but all these words work together. See, it's really hard just to pick two to teach you because all 12 of them, they work in unison to create this nice illusion. All right, and look what I did. Look at, you sharpened your pencil. Have you ever sharpened your pencil and pretty soon, before you know it, like 2/3 of your pencil's gone? Zzz! Oh no, the pencil sharpener's eating my pencil. Art attack! We're going to draw the contour line right there. I know that happens to me all the time. I can see you going, yeah, I don't like that because it eats my pencil. It takes my drawing time away. Your pencil is worth probably 300-400 drawings. You can just flow across that paper. I'm going to darken in the lead. Now see how I did? I followed the contour line. See that contour? I followed this shape right here. And I'm going to, maybe even make some more. Look, it's really, the pencil sharpener really went crazy today. Look, it was really hungry. Feed me! it's devouring your pencil. Mom! The pencil sharpener's eating my pencil! Let's put the action lines. Take your pencil, pencil's up on your head. Repeat after me. Stand back! I'm about to draw. Action lines. Hi! Draw. Look, it just flow across. So you want to make this giant pencil. Right now, it's kind of just drawing on its own. It's like this powerful pencil that's floating around right here. We'll make maybe a little character holding it. Put some action lines. Look, this is like the powerful pencil. By the pencil power invested in me, I pronounce you a drawing artist. Thumbs up. Yeah. See, you start drawing, all these ideas start flowing. You can make some really cool stories about your drawing too. Now let me see, let's put the horizon line back there so you get the idea of what we're drawing here. Now this is going to be a horizontal horizon, a horizontal line. And then we get to use that Renaissance word shading. Now I'm going to get a sharper pencil. Always use a sharp pencil if you want to make your drawing look nice and detailed. Now I'm going to check out how the drawing looks on your TV set. Oh, look at my line is slanting a little bit. It's going downhill right here. Actually, you guys are going uphill because you guys are drawing. Take your pencil. We're going to shade the bottom. Now that's the other Renaissance word I want to talk about. Shading. All the way down, all the way across over here, and then we're going to shade it. All right, and then you blend it lighter and lighter as it comes up, and you come across the bottom, and then we'll take our handy stump and blend it. Oh my goodness, I really want to get 2 drawings finished today with you, and we're still drawing this one. I tell you, once you start drawing, you really get into your drawings. You want to make details, you want to add the dark edges. You can spend an hour just drawing this like mighty pencil rocket ready to launch. Because remember, drawing determines destiny. When you can think in 3D, after you draw all the time and learn these skills, you can think in 3D, you draw in 3D, and that means you can start dreaming in 3D, right? Once you dream in 3D, you can think of any of these fantastic dreams and goals of yours, and you can achieve them. It's amazing. You know, I always wanted to travel around the world teaching you little Einsteins how to draw. And I dreamed it, I drew it, I thought about it, I imagined myself in these different countries like Australia and over in Germany and Europe and all over America. You know what happened? Took 20 years, but I was able to do it just because I have that skill to draw in 3D, and you have that now too. You can do anything. It amazes me in your life. Now, I want to show you a really nice animated piece. Doyle Smith created the outside of the imagination station. Look. You're going to be pulling up to the port side docking, and you're going to go right in. There it is, the imagination station, the cool intergalactic spot for 3-dimensional discovery. Whew, that was a long description, wasn't it? Now I want to get you inspired by showing you a painting by Jean Dubuffet. D is for Dubuffet. I love this French artist's work. Now this is called the Loud One. It's a big, brightly painted sheet metal sculpture. It was designed by Dubuffet in 1973. It's over 8 feet tall. This design started out as a costume for an actor in a play. Look at that. Can you imagine wearing that costume with big blotchy shapes of painted paper supported by wire? The Loud One was a character who speaks with anger while shouting. The sculpture of the Loud One stands still, but it looks loud and angry. Dubuffet was born 100 years ago. His family owned vineyards in France. Dubuffet tried to work in the family business, but his destiny was to be an artist instead. Of course, that's what your destiny is, because your drawing determines your destiny. He loved the primitive art world, and look at all those inspiring things in the painting. Isn't that great? You can look at museums and get ideas. I also get ideas when I look at your drawings. Now, you can send your drawings into me. I'd love getting the mail. Send them into Mark Kistler, that's me, your fine pilot navigator. Actually, I'm your navigator. You're the pilot. I'm navigating you through the Renaissance words, the space of imagination. There's the address, Student Gallery of Fine Art, P.O. Box 41031, Santa Barbara, California, 93140. And don't forget that self-addressed stamped envelope. You can also check out the website, and you can download some drawing lessons if you want, and there's some resource material for your teachers and parents. It's the World Wide Web, www, that's what that stands for. Of course, you have to put HTTP right on before that. You guys, you geniuses know that. Draw3D.com, you can write that down. Now, if you don't have a computer, don't worry about it, because you have your pencil power, the most powerful tool for your imagination. So take your ideas and let's flow across the paper some more. Now we have our warm-up drawing right here. Now you can just add a few more ideas to this one. You can have a little person down here. You can write a story about this is, you know what, this would be you, and you're holding up your giant pencil because you have such giant ideas. I'm going to make the legs a little bit longer. You're going to be standing here in the shadow of the pencil. That you're shadowed by your tremendous ideas for your life. Look, and you're going to be holding up the pencil here. You have some kind of a tool, a lifting rod or something that helps you hold up your pencil. And you can put your hands holding here, and then there's your hair looking very professional. Look at that, and you're just in there. I have great ideas. They're giant. I must use a giant pencil. You're down there. You can add all little details. I just love adding little ideas like that. Now let's take our confidence and let's flow down in this area. Look, we're using the same sheet of paper because we're so environmentally sound. We don't have to use a blank piece for every drawing. These are just sketches to get you feeling comfortable. Now let's draw your drawing. You're going to be holding your pencil like this. We're going to use your fist right here as an idea. We're going to draw your fist. Go and get another shot of my hand right here. We're going to use the fist. See that? And your hand's going to be holding the pencil. It's going to be breaking out of the pencil going, pencil power. So let's draw that. Let's draw a circle. Draw it very lightly. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm so glad I have like 19 sharp pencils. I sure go through these fast. Do you do that too when you're drawing? Do you go through about 4,000 or 5,000 pencils in a week? You just keep them sharp. Always keep them handy. You never know where you're going to have an art attack. All right? Art attack! Pencils on your head. Stand back. Save yourself. I'm about to draw. Aye! Draw, 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 draw. Draw, 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 draw. I tell you, when you start to draw, you're going to feel good. Now watch this. I'm going to draw the back of the, look at your hand. See, your thumb has this line here, and it goes 1, 2. It has an angle. 1, and then the thumb angles down like this, and then there's your thumb. See, now the hands are considered by some artists as the most difficult part of the body to draw, even harder than feet. The hands they're so important in the drawing. They have a lot of character to them. It really adds a lot of attitude and a lot of, what's the right word I'm looking for? Sometimes I can draw it, but I can't say it. You know what I mean? I bet you kids are like that too. You have all these ideas in your mind. Sometimes it's easier to draw a picture of what you're trying to say than to communicate it through words. That's why drawing is considered another communication tool. Drawing and painting, drawing and art. Now look at, see that line back there? We're going to have you holding the pencil in your hand. Now remember, if I go too fast for you, don't worry about it. Don't get anxiety filled because this is your art attack. I want you to go, you can record it on your video machine and have a whole collection. You can keep all the different drawing lessons on a shelf in a row. Look at this, you're holding the pencil here. Pencil power! Your fist is going to be breaking out of like an envelope. You're sending a drawing to your grandparents to make them feel really good and let them know you love them. Your hand's breaking out. So let's take your drawing and let's have this fist breaking out. Now can you get a little tighter on that? Let's let the kids take a good look at that. They really need to see what I'm drawing. Draw the circle, come all the way in, a little bit more, and then very carefully, we're going to go all the way up, and we're going to angle down, draw the pencil power rocket. See this? There's your pencil. You draw the fist, curve the bottom, and then we're going to add the darkness. Now go ahead and stay real tight because I'm going to be adding shading to this drawing. And then I'm going to add the contour. Now the two words we're talking about today, daily, which is drawing every day to practice, and then you can use the side of your pencil to add the shading. Now I'm going to use another sharp point. But I'm going, this is my 4th pencil I'm using now. Darken in the edges, and then take your pencil and shade it down the side. See this? All the way down the side. And then you can use that rolled up paper, which is called the stump, to blend your drawing. I just love using that. Now you can use your finger, of course, or you can just take an old scrap piece of paper and roll it up. And then we'll shade underneath the hand here. See that? Nice in 3D, all the way along here. All these ideas you can add. You know what, kids? You are doing so well. I'm going to give you a check right here. Give yourself a check for doing such a fine job. In fact, because you have such pencil power, I'm going to give you 2 more checks. Yeah, live on the edge. Well, you know what? I'm going to go crazy. You know what you are? You're a passionate, artistic genius for life. You're a paggle. You can tell your mom, hey, Mom, I'm a paggle. Whoa. And she'll, pardon me, honey? And you can say, I'm a passionate, artistic genius for life. Cool. Put some action lines here. Ah, power. You're going to be just flying out of the paper. Draw, draw. Sketch, 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 sketch. Now down here, I'm going to come down just a little bit, and we're going to put like a foreshortened circle. Now I just looked up at the time, and oh no, I'm running out of time again. You're like, oh, you run out of time every day, Mark. I wish I could just draw for 4 hours with you geniuses. This is so much fun. Now watch, see how I'm going to make this hand breaking out of the paper. This will be a nice drawing to put on the outside of your envelopes. I see that when you kids send me those drawings in the mail, you always decorate the outside of the envelopes with such clever, beautiful, 3-dimensional renderings. Awesome stuff. What a great idea, too, to decorate the outside of your envelopes, making art available even to the postal delivery people. Now look at this. I'm going to put this foreshortened loop here. Now I know I'm going fast on this. You don't have to keep up with me in this bottom area here. This is just an idea you can work on. You can make the paper curling down using your blending, and then we're going to shade all the way up. Then I'll put some action lines. Hi! Look, it's breaking through. Yeehaw! It's coming out here. I'm going to darken it. Boy, I'm just going fast now. Art attack! Keep up with me, kids. Hold on. We're going. Look, it's breaking out. Whew. Look at this action. The power of the pencil. Drawing determines destiny. Just popping out of the envelope. Look, you just start drawing and spitting all over your drawing. Yeehaw! Let me show you some very, very exciting drawings that some students showed me and they mailed in. Now, this is by Haven. Look at Haven. Here's a picture of Haven right here. Really cool guy. Now, Haven lives in Brooklyn, New York. When I was visiting some elementary schools out there, we drew that hand together. Look at, he drew the fingers. Get another tight shot of that real quick. Look at the fingers with the shading. Very, very cool and foreshortening. Let me show you another drawing. This is by Justin from Kentucky. He was 14 years old. He sent a self-addressed stamped envelope and he sent a little, I love it when you guys send pictures. I am Justin, the cool artist of Kentucky. Look at the attitude, to be or not to be. Excellent. And then he sent 2 more drawings. Look, he sent this dinosaur drawing. Take a shot of that. Look at that with the shadow. That's wonderful. That's one of those words we're talking about. And also shading. He practices every day using daily. And then here's the last drawing I want to show you. Now, this is what's so difficult, just trying to find just a few drawings out of all the wonderful pictures we have. Now, this is by Kristen. Here's her picture. And there's her drawing. Wonderful. Let's take a look at what our guest artist, Joey Doyle, has to share with us today, a really cool art project. Joey Doyle's back. Yay! Art teacher extraordinaire all the way from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Welcome back aboard the Imagination Station.
Thanks for having me back, Mark.
Absolutely. We've been friends for 10 years talking about you coming
10 years.
aboard, and here you are. And you even brought the sculpture that one of your students did. You commissioned them for the Imagination Station.
That's right. This was done by a high school student of mine. His name is George Alanis. And I asked George to build this specifically for the Imagination Station. This is the USS Alanis.
This is beautiful. And it's in every one of my drawing shows. This is so beautiful. What process did you use to make this?
Well, George used paper mache over cardboard for this, and then he painted it.
This is awesome. Now, you have something special for us today.
Yeah, we're going to do
Let's
some
go on
printmaking
over.
today.
So we're going to be doing some color printing.
Yeah.
Tell me all about the process here. Oh, bugs! We're going to draw bugs.
That's right. Mark, have you ever had a drawing that you've done that you wish you could make multiple copies of to give out to all your friends?
Oh,
but you
yeah.
didn't want to lose all the texture and the shading and the great drawing technique?
Sure, when you go to copy stores, you do that, but you lose something in the process.
Sure. Well, there's an ancient art form called printmaking, and you know, there's a lot of different ways of printmaking. There's serigraphy and lithography and woodblock printing. What we're going to do is called styrofoam relief printing, and relief just means that you've got a surface that's a little bit raised up off of your base. That's what relief is.
Cool.
See, I've got a drawing here of a bug that I did, and I thought this was a pretty neat bug.
That's a fine bug.
Well, I'd like to reproduce this bug and give it out to all my friends.
That's the bug of all bugs.
It sure is. Maybe even give you one.
Oh, I would love it.
So what I did is I started with a sketch of this bug, and then I took some just discarded materials that I found around the house. Had a picnic not too long ago, and I kept some of the plates left over.
Recycling?
Exactly. And I
that
cut them
artwork?
out into all the different shapes that I have on the drawing here.
Want me to hold this for you?
Sure.
I'll take it.
I took a plate and I cut the center out because this is all raised and it doesn't work too well.
I'll
So
hold that for you,
so
too.
I
I'll
used-
be your caddy
okay.
of all this material
There
on
you
your
go.
display counter.
And then what I did is I took the inside of the plate and I cut it out into all the different segments of the bug. You know, I even did a little bit of research. I looked into a couple of books in the library and found out how many legs different bugs have and all the different body
You
parts.
just put it on, like you used a folder, an old
Yeah, I
office
used
folder.
an old office folder that I don't need anymore. It's a nice hard surface to work on.
And then you took, looks like a pencil and drew some of the detail to push it down.
Right. Once I got the outline or the contour shapes cut out and glued down, then I took a blunt pencil and just drew some of the detail in there, some bonuses and extras.
Bonus and extras.
There
you know
you go.
those, right? You've been using those words for 10 years in your
For
classes.
10 years, all those
So now,
Renaissance words.
You get this part right here. Now what do we do?
Well, after I complete the whole relief, it looks a little bit like this. See, this one's been printed on once before, so it's got a lot of the black lines that are showing up a little bit better.
You can just do print after print after
Sure.
print. These things last for months or
You
how
can
long?
do hundreds of them. This one, well, I used Elmer's glue on this, and then I let it dry overnight, so it was really nice and strong, and then I can print on
Oh, you
it.
mean you coated it? You coated it with glue, too?
No, I just glued the pieces down. Didn't
I
have to
see.
coat it at all.
All right,
All right.
this is great.
What I want to do next, or first of all, though, is I want to decorate some paper so we'll have a colored background.
All right.
Okay? It's real simple to do. I just took a piece of
This is
paper.
like just some texture or something.
Sure.
Let me see these other colors.
Okay. Different colored combinations. I took a sponge, just like this one here, and some tempera paint, and I put the tempera paint. Tempera is a washable paint. It doesn't stain too much.
Non-toxic, right.
Non-toxic. It's very inexpensive. And I'm just going to take this sponge and dip it into the paint and maybe get some of the extra off on the side.
Oh, go ahead,
there.
get messy, live on the edge.
And
why
then I'm just
not?
going to do this.
Oh, I like the little blue. You actually dipped in the blue.
A little bit of blue on there.
Okay, so he just dabbed the sponge. You could just use an old dish sponge or something for that.
Come over here and maybe get some red. Red's a
Let me see.
real
Let me hold
nice
that. I'm
color.
your caddy. Put me
Okay.
to work here.
Okay. I'm just going to take the red and blot the red on here in different places, just like this. And I'm going to let this paper dry. Tempera paint dries pretty fast.
So what you're doing is you're designing a background, little.
Exactly.
Or you can even use watercolor, make a color wash, and then print on top of that, right?
Sure, you
can
can.
do any, maybe even a crown relief, and then print on top of that.
Good
Put a little,
deal,
do a
good
little
idea.
orange. I want to see some orange on
Okay,
there,
let's
too.
get some orange. Here, I'll use the back of this, and that way I can get my hands all messy, you know. Mom loves it when my hands get messy. She knows I've been working.
What if you cut shapes in that, bug shape, so you had bug as a background? You could do that,
Sure,
too,
you
huh?
could do that, too.
Any
Sure.
idea? This is
You
great.
bet.
All right, so you have your backdrops. These are the dry ones that you want to use, right?
I'm going to let those dry, and here comes the fun part. I've got another plate here that I put some tempera paint on.
Ooh, black.
Yeah,
All
I'm going
right.
to squirt a little bit more tempera on there, though, because I think this is a little bit dry. Isn't that fun?
Oh, good. Here, I'll hold your plate.
Okay.
Put me to work
This
here.
is called a brayer, okay? And this is what printmakers use to put the ink on only on the surface of their artwork, so you don't get ink down in all the little areas the detailed areas. You
Okay.
don't want ink down there.
So you
'cause
want a
that-
nice, smooth
Sure.
application?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll the brayer back and forth a couple of times. I'm going to pick
you
it
can
up.
get really messy with this. This
You
is
bet.
cool.
You bet.
Put down some
Okay.
paper before you do this. Make sure you have a nice area covered, or else you're going to make a big mess.
Okay, now I'm going to take the brayer and I'm just going to go across the whole
nice,
print, just
even.
like this, 2 or 3 times, maybe come across this way.
You know what we were talking about earlier with Kim Salga when she was here, is that you can take like a roll of register tape, wrap it
Sure.
with plastic tape, put a pencil through it. So if you don't want to, spend the money for a brayer, you can just make a little roller at home out of anything,
Exactly.
anything
I've
that
even
rolls.
used empty paint bottles to do
You've
that.
used, really?
Sure,
That's
you
creative. Recycling again.
Exactly. Now I'm going to, first of all, I want to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to just take an
Look at
empty,
that. I don't know if they
blank
got a
piece
good
of
shot.
paper.
It's nice and inky, nice and messy. Okay, now what?
I want to very gently place this over the entire bug, and I want to make sure it doesn't move around so it doesn't get smeared, okay? And then I'm just going to very
you kinda
gently
anchor it
rub
down
with my
first.
hand. I'm anchoring it with this hand and rubbing with this hand. Now I'm going to stop with this hand and rub with this hand.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what it looks like.
That's it.
After the bug, you have a big beetle bug that bites.
That's right.
Now, what happens after you take this print? You can make multiple copies. You can take the backdrops that we painted, and you could print the bug right on here. So
That's
you can
right.
make 200-300 copies, disperse them all over the block.
That's right. You can autograph them. You can even number them. You know, this is the first one, the second one.
Sending your artwork all over the world.
That's right.
Well, Joey, thank you so much for coming on the Imagination Station.
Great
What
to
did
be
I
here.
learn here before from your wife, Ginger? I love to draw right here on the Imagination Station. Remember the 3 Ds: dream it, draw it, and do it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming, Joey. That was so much fun. I love this
I
printing.
enjoyed it too. Yeah, this is great stuff.
When you print the bug, you can have like 200,000 copies all over the place. It's cool.
Is your pencil itching for more drawing adventure? Blast off with Mark Kistler's awesome video art kits. Mark's great video art kits include a pocket-sized sketch pad, the 12 Renaissance word picture booklet, pencil, paper stump, and a specially selected 1-hour video. Choose from secret space adventures or big boisterous bugs. Just $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping. Operators can only take calls from parents with credit cards. Call 1-800-431-6829.
Mark Kistler's Imagination Station is made possible by Simon & Schuster, publisher of Mark Kistler's drawing books and other fine books for children. The Mark Kistler Fund for Creative Children's Television, encouraging children to explore their imaginations through drawing, reading, and the arts. And Robert Neustadt Productions, drawing on television to advance art, science, and literature in our children's future. And geniuses like you.